Hello YouTube world, Mac Daddy 1911A1 here with the Shade Tree Survivalists. I'm surrounded here by some of Jeff Cooper's works. What is so significant about Colonel Jeff Cooper? John Dean Jeff Cooper. Why should you care? He passed away in 2006. If you are much in the way of a gun person, firearms person, a military historian, you just give a damn about great Americans, I think I want to sum this up from the obituary that Mr. Wiley Clapp wrote in the American Rifleman in the June 2007 edition of the American Rifleman. And in it he says, at the end of one of our conversations in his home and before that magnificent fireplace with the massive kudu head, we somehow got around to talking about the Cooper legacy. I have no better words to sum up Jeff Cooper than what I told him on that day. Colonel, you have the respect of men whose respect is worth having. He seemed pleased by that. Colonel Cooper was a prolific writer. He was a teacher. He had a master's in history and philosophy from Stanford University. He was a United States Marine. He was a competitive shooter. He was a master shooter. He loved the 1911 handgun and he loved the M1 Garand rifle. He was a strongly opinionated kind of guy, sort of like me. But he could back up what he said with facts and with practical, by God, experience. If you love to hunt, you will enjoy his books. Everything from the Yukon Journal all the way over here to fireworks. If you are a veteran of military conflict, any of these books, you will enjoy them. If you love guns, again, any of these. If you are a conservative or National Rifle Association member, any and every single one of these books is worth every penny you will pay for them. Let's not forget this one down here, The Art of the Rifle. But what sets Colonel Cooper apart from every other instructor out there? What sets him apart from all the tactical gurus of the modern era, such as James Yeager and so forth? These guys are all great folks. They can teach you a hell of a lot. They can teach you a hell of a lot that may save your life. But where did all that begin? Colonel Jeff Cooper in the 60s wrote a little pamphlet, and I gave a copy of that away to in my Knowledge is Power 2015 giveaway. One of my subscribers, SKS Man 71, won that book, The Principles of Personal Defense. He wrote that in the 60s, and it is as relevant now as it was then. Combat mindset is the key to survival in any kind of a fight. Seeing the enemy before the enemy strikes you. One may be forgiven for losing a fight, but never for being surprised. That was one of his mantras he pounded on and harped on because it's true. It is one of the principles that is laid forth in the U.S. Marine Corps officers training. Okay, that is one of the very first things they teach them. I am not a highly educated man, ladies and gentlemen. I know I've said that many, many times, but I'm going to tell you, when I love to read, always have. I'm a Clancy fan, and there's dozens and dozens and dozens of great authors out there that I have read, but I prefer nonfiction above fiction. You may have heard the term over the years that you cannot make that crap up. And real life is that way. Okay, you cannot make up some of the stuff that happens in real life. Colonel Cooper was an exception. Not an exception, he was an exceptional human being. Okay, he excelled at everything he put his mind to. Okay, he could not stand mediocrity. He could not stand the mediocre. He could not stand this drive we have for equality. Now, when I say that, I want you to understand, he's not talking about race relations. He's not talking about men and women. He's talking about the drive to dumb down our society so that the lowest common denominator will seem to be on a level playing field with everyone else. Whether it is business or whether it is competition, there are those that are better. That's all there is to it. And he respected those who excelled. No matter what they did, he respected those who excelled in their chosen profession, except goblins. And that's what he called the bad guys, the scumbags of the damn universe is what I call them. But he championed exceptional achievement. Okay, many of these books here, he is telling about his personal experiences. Whether it be this one here, this is a big, basically a safari to the far north up into Yukon territory of Canada, right before World War II. And I think in every single one of the rest of his books, he speaks of hunting some way, shape, or form in there. And he loved to hunt for meat. He liked it all right. And he loved the thrill of taking that beautiful animal and whatever. But he wasn't after trophies. And he wasn't after strictly the meat either. He was after the thrill of the hunt itself. And he preferred to hunt things that could kill him quick as he could kill it. And his favorite was the Cape buffalo of Africa. The Cape buffalo is known as the joined horn infidel. Now that should tell you something. I saw a nature special on PBS here a while back where buffaloes, these Cape buffaloes, these bastards are tough as hell. The lion, they were running the lions off. The big pride of lions, the whole herd of them suckers come through there, and the lions were running from them, not the other way around. Hell no. And he said if you hit them, even if they were dead, oftentimes they could continue long enough to pound the hell out of whoever hurt them, and then hook them with those big damn horns and just fling them up in the damn sky and kill them. That is bad to the bone. I respect him because he was a man of conviction. I respected him because he put his money where his mouth was. I respect him because, if nothing else, before Colonel Cooper started Gunsight, and I happen to have a couple of videos from Gunsight right here that I purchased at a Cabela's out in Nebraska. But before he started Gunsight, and he did this in his 50s, all right, ladies and gentlemen, he did it in his 50s. Did it with his own money, okay? Before he started Gunsight, there were no schools at all for civilians to learn how to shoot well. And as he demonstrated on several occasions to the FBI, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They thought they did, and everybody, well, they're the most scientific agency, blah, blah, blah. They research and do this and do that. Well, they didn't know how to shoot very damn well, and he proved that time and time and time again. And it's only been from the 80s forward that the FBI sort of got their act together, which they, of course, chose the 9mm, which led to the disaster in the Miami shootout, and which time they went back over and went to the 40, with the exception of their SRT, their well, HRT, Hostage Rescue Team, which uses what? Can you say it out loud? 1911 and 45 ACP. His championing of the 1911, that was the gun in his opinion. Okay, he never changed his mind because nothing ever came along that had a better anything. Every enhancement that he recommended gave us the practical handguns we see today, no matter what make or model. But regardless of the handgun and regardless of the stance, his combat mindset that he set forth in his principles of personal defense, the one I gave away in my giveaway, and his school, those are his two biggest contributions. Okay, the school's still going strong. The owner of it now, I think in the late 90s, this man bought it. He was a former general, bought the school, and he returned it to the original principles, and it took off like a shot again. It's doing well. Teaching U.S. Marines, teaching U.S. Special, letting the U.S. Special Forces come out and practice and teaching them how to shoot better, as well as us civilians. Without Cooper, there wouldn't have been a gun sight. It was his drive, his vision, his gamble with his money that paid off. He is the one who created gun sight. Okay? He is the one that founded the principles of personal defense. Brought the principles of personal defense, the combat mindset, the 1911, and the Weaver stance all together at one time into one philosophy, one doctrine, and it's took off from there. Simple as that. But if you like hunting, any of these books, any of his books, any of them, they're all outstanding. You may or may not agree with everything the man has to say in his books, but without Jeff Cooper, you would not have. Matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, it was his assertion that everyone should be trained in the use of a rifle and handgun for personal defense, and his founding of Gunsight, the school, that began the concealed carry permit war with the liberals. Okay? Just think about all the states here in recent years that have, which of course the NRA, which he was a member of and he was a director of at different times, various different times in his life. Without that, who would have went that damn far? Who would have spent that kind of money to make those cities such as Washington, D.C., which had a total ban on handguns, all right, as well as Chicago and so forth? It was Jeff Cooper, his doctrine, that got the movement started, all right? It was his baby. So who was Jeff Cooper? Why is he important? Why even so many years after his death is his legacy still there? Because he got it all started, baby. And it's just as relevant now as it was then. And also this. Handguns are great for personal defense. You know, I know you've heard me say that time and time again, but on a battlefield, it is a rifle. The rifle is the queen of the battlefield. Artillery's all great and fine and dandy. So is air support. Can't knock those guys. They sure give a lot of help, but at the end of the damn day, it is one man and his rifle. Okay, or men and their rifles, or women in this day and age. They are the ones that secure the battlefield. They're the ones that win the damn war. Not the artillery, not the air support. It's the man on the ground or woman on the ground with the rifle doing that deal. Alright? And Jeff Cooper's important because it was his philosophy on personal defense. Using a handgun to defend oneself and a rifle and later a shotgun that got it all started. That is why Colonel Cooper is such a... he's a legend, all right? One of his clients called him Le Maestro when he was down in coffee country. I think it was in Colombia. And the drug lords was trying to kill this man because they wanted his property, grow their damn cocaine and all on him. And he went down there and taught them how to take care of business. I hope that man and his family still down there and still able to fend off the scumbags because their damn government down there wasn't worth a flip. But I'm going to tell you what, if you like hunting, you believe in the Second Amendment, you believe in the United States of America, you believe in the right to self-defense. I think I've already covered that, but I'm going to throw it in there again. You believe in heroic deeds. I recommend every single one of these books. We've got Fireworks, Another Country, Sea Stories, Shot Luck, To Ride, Shoot Straight, and Tell the Truth, or Speak the Truth. Yukon Journal, Art of the Rifle, Principles of Personal Defense, Gargantuan Gun Sight, Gossip 1, 2, and 3, and Fighting Handguns, Handguns in the Field. Oh man, he had a bunch of books, a bunch of them. But if you love hunting stories, you love heroic stories about heroic deeds, you should really, really pick you up some of these books. They are as relevant today as they ever were. As far as the books such as the Art of the Rifle, okay, that one right there, if you shoot a rifle, that's one of those you should seriously buy. Our friend Mike M0331, U.S. Marine, who seriously knows how to shoot, regularly takes his M1A out to 1,000 plus yards and hits what he is aiming at, as well as his Remington 700. He recommends this book. I told him about it. He said, "Oh, I already got it." I was like, "Okay." But without Cooper, a modern two-handed pistol shooting stance would not be as prevalent as it is today. He thought of the Weaver as much more stable than isosceles, but a two-handed grip is better than a one-handed grip any day of the damn week, no matter which one it is you use. I'm telling you, Colonel Cooper, without him, everything else, all these other guys, including me, and I'm no kind of expert, ladies and gentlemen, at all, but all the ones who are experts, many of them went to his school first. And if they didn't, the schools that they went to, those instructors went to Cooper schools. That's just how influential he was. Anywho, this is Mac Daddy 1911A1 telling you now. Colonel Cooper, though he has passed away, his legacy, his doctrine remains, and it is as relevant now as it was the day he sold Gunsight and retired. This is Mac Daddy 1911A1 with the Shade Tree Survivalists. Thank you very much for watching.